Vezi sent me this video yesterday. I don't know how many of you guys remember the PirateSoftware drama. It was pretty damn big. And I guess he went on Dr. K to get interviewed. And dude, we like immediately called him out on this.
Over the last 2 hours, there's something about the way that I hear you talk that rubs.
Oh wait, this is the first one actually. Vezi sent me 2 clips.
I think sometimes the things that I talk about in regards to those types of things is misconstrued as arrogance or boasting, when in reality, I'm just trying to give context.
So that is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase.
Sure.
This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality, it's this.
Yeah.
That is the most arrogant statement on the planet, bro. Like, tell me I'm wrong.
Okay. I don't see it that way, but all right.
Right? So, oh, yeah. So you don't see it that way. You're wrong.
No. I think sometimes
he never wants to be wrong, and he didn't want to admit that he was wrong. That's why he got, you know, blasted by the whole WoW community. And him saying it just like checks out 1000%. I mean, we already called it, right?
Over this whole over the last 2 hours, there's something about the way that I hear you talk that rubs me the wrong way. There's something about the way that you talk that seems...
That's crazy.
Dismissive. Over this whole...
Yeah, this is the 2 clip I saw. I was like, oh my goodness. That summarizes the whole thing, right? Crazy. Anyways, let's check out what Rambo sent me, guys. He said these are some good videos. Would you choose this life again?
You log in. You gear up for the same raid again. You queue the same battleground. It's a new week, but it's not new. You've done this before.
What is his character names?
New. You've done this before. And you'll do it again and again. There's something strangely familiar, perhaps even sacred about this loop. But what if that familiarity is more than comfort? What if it is a mirror? Friedrich Nietzsche once proposed the idea of eternal return, not as a scientific claim, but as a thought experiment. Imagine...
Okay, guys, I wanna pause, and I know this is kind of early of a pause, but I want to explain for me, okay? I'm not a psychopath like Index. Index plays classic, into classic, into classic, into classic, okay? I played classic when 2018 dropped, right? 2018 to 2019, I believe. Was it that frame? And then they did Season of Mastery, right? I didn't play this because it's a repeat of the same thing that I just did. But I think for the people that played the relaunch had a very good reason to do it, because we played back in 2004 and it's been a long time and a lot of us forgot about it, right? So I played it, had an amazing time, and went into TBC. Some of them liked it so much they went into SOM again. I didn't do that. We waited until Hardcore was announced, the add-on version, and that Hardcore version you play in a different way, right? And that was fun to me. Repeating the same thing, not fun for me. Got it? And Season of Discovery is like classic, but different, right? A lot more fun now than before. I know a lot of us still have that bad taste from MC or BWL, but Scarlet Enclave, Nax has been very, very fun for me. Extremely good. So I'm not replaying the same thing. I'm playing different versions of it that makes it fun, right? And any game, if you play with friends and that start of the launch where you're grinding for gear or grinding for honor, like that's like the best part ever. It's so, so fun, right? I think we can all agree on that, chat, right? Type 1 if you like that part the most, where everyone's leveling together. There's a bunch of people. You guys are all trying to dungeon group. You guys are all farming best in slot gear. And then now you're doing raid. And then that's where, like, for retail and maybe SOM or classic, that's where it gets very shattered. Because this is where you kind of start gatekeeping. Like dungeons, you don't gatekeep. But once like raid starts, you want to go with the best parse team. You want to play with the best arena players. You want to play with the best mythic key guys. And then that could get shattered and go beyond. But that phase before that is the best part ever. Like super, super fun. Yeah.
At every moment of your life, every pain, every joy, every heartbreak, and every victory would repeat forever. Exactly the same, again and again, for all eternity. Would you still live it? Most people would flinch at the idea, this weight of repetition, of having to relive every awkward conversation, every lost love, every lonely night. It can be unbearable, but Nietzsche saw something else. He believed that if we could live in such a way that we wouldn't dread repeating it, then we would be living authentically, courageously, fully. Now think about your life in World of Warcraft, or any MMO really. You've probably repeated the same quests dozens of times, leveled ults through the same zones, wiped on the same bosses, laughed at the same jokes in guild chat. You know how it ends. And yet something keeps pulling you back. Are we just addicted to the loop? Or is there something meaningful in the return itself? In the grind, there is a strange clarity. You don't chase the reward because you need it. You chase it because the act of chasing gives your time shape. It turns your boredom into ritual, chaos into structure. It's not that we love repetitions, it's that we're trying to find permanence in an impermanent world. Maybe you have felt this in your real life too. The sense that you are stuck in a loop. Wake up, work, sleep, repeat. You wonder if you're making progress or just running in circles. But the deeper truth,
And wow, you make good
and
progress, yeah.
Nietzsche's
So it's
challenge
fun.
is this. The loop isn't the problem. The loop is the stage. The question is how you choose to walk it. What if the point isn't to escape repetition, but to inhabit it more fully? There's a kind
There's
of
something interesting that I thought about too one time cooking. I think playing World of Warcraft was amazing for me, and it made me meet a lot of good friends and maybe cast out a few bad ones. Because in World of Warcraft, it might sound funny, but you get into very, very hard situations where you have to make choices as like a guild leader or a friend, and a lot of true colors come out, or you get to know a person very well depending on like if a loot drops, or maybe somebody's ratting out, maybe somebody's being greedy. Like you get to see every side of that. And I think going through it, I've only got to select the good friends, and I have so many good friends in World of Warcraft right now, and I'm thankful for that. Like I have so many online good friends through World of Warcraft because it's an MMO where you can experience almost everything. Yeah. And I had to kick 2 people out of my Sod guild last week because I found out they were like super racist, and they have this weird thing going. I don't want to explain too much, but I had to tell them to leave. And I've always had this rule, no matter how good the players are, especially in Arena or RBG, there's a lot of group of toxic players. No matter how good they are, if they're acting in that behavior, I will drop them and just play with different people. But there are people that continue to play with these guys in order to get better or try to fit in, and they become racist and toxic with them, right? So yeah, you could choose your directions in WoW, and I think for me, I got to meet a lot of cool people, and it's been great, man. It's been great.
liberation in realizing this. You stop waiting for the next thing to make it all worth it. You stop treating your life like it's just a prologue to something better. Instead, you begin to ask yourself, what if this very moment, this loop, is it? And here is where it begins to get uncomfortable.
Okay.
Because if you're not proud of how you're spending your time now, then repeating it forever sounds like hell. But if you can find even a small joy in what you are doing, if you can find purpose in the act, not just the outcome, then maybe you're already free. Nietzsche didn't pose eternal return as a punishment. He posed it as a test of your life's worth. not in someone else's eyes, but in your own heart. So
Rambo, is this a video about WoW, or is he just having WoW background and just talking about life?
perhaps that's the hidden grace of the loop. It gives us another chance to live more deliberately.
For me, I don't think I think about it this deep. We're social animals, and I think being in World of Warcraft, we get to interact with a lot of different people from all over the world and get to learn another. And like I said, you get to learn people's behaviors and you get to make good friends through seeing those choices. But maybe you have different ethics or morals and you might choose different friends. But yeah, WoW's been fun. And we get to repeat what we did back in like the ancient days, I guess, like going to hunting, grouping up with players and fighting. Because like back then too, this is like a different story. You know how there's like frogs and they like croak to attract mates, right? If there's a big croaker, all the little guys go next to him because he's like the biggest croak and he's gonna get all the ladies, right? So all of them like stack up together and all the little guys try to go next to him and fit in. Same thing with like hunting. If there's like a good hunter, everyone wants to hunt with him together and stick around, right? And same thing with WoW. Like if there's a good player, everyone wants to like get together, make the best raid team and play together. It's like in our nature, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, right? Yeah.
To live more courageously, to love more honestly.
And I think that's fine, right? We're living in a world where internet is super powerful, so we're getting that same feeling through the internet.
To play,
Yeah,
not
Ompi.
just to win, but to mean it. Would you choose this life again? And if not, then what needs to change?
Yes, I will choose this life 1000%. I'll link you this video. I don't know if he's trying to go like depresso mode. If he's going depresso mode, I hope he gets better. But yeah, if I had to relive this life, I definitely want to see what life I would have had if I went the art direction. But I'm happy I chose this way because I met so many good friends online. And yeah, don't want to make it religious, but thanks to God, I think we had the right compass to look at, and I met so many good people. And I have a beautiful community, so shout out to you guys. You guys are all super cool and genuine guys. So big W's in the chat. Thank you. All right, should we watch the next video, Rambo? Is this the same thing? Same topic like this? I'm trying to rot max my brains out, guys. I'm not trying to like... Is this the same thing? It's better, more familiar. All right, I'll watch one more. I'm not sure.
Some would say that hardcore WoW is the real Azeroth. It strips everything away. No resurrections, no second chances, no soul stones. In a world built on repetition where every death is usually just a mild inconvenience, hardcore WoW instead asks, what if it wasn't?
Say the truth, you don't like his... No, I just... It's a deeper hit and I'm trying to, you know, have fun and melt my brain because we have like rot maxing prepared. So I was expecting like rot maxing content, not some deep conversation stuff because maybe you guys are here to have fun and whatnot, right?
What if every pull, every decision, every step actually mattered? And in that brutal clarity, something begins to change. Azeroth becomes more than just pixels. It becomes more real. But let's not romanticize it too much. There is
So I was not used to having it this deep. I'll make a joke, but I'm not. I think it's fine. I like the answer I gave you guys. It was a real answer.
Mental toll here at play. When your character dies, not just any character, but the one you've poured 40.
I don't
80,
know what I don't know what this is called. Like he's like psychological. He seems to have read a lot of books. Maybe he's into like these cars.
Hundreds of hours too. It hurts. And not just because of the time lost. You feel
Philosophical.
grief, anger, emptiness. Sometimes you'll sit there staring at the death screen and not moving, not talking, because you can't believe it's over. You didn't just lose a character, you lost a version of yourself, a version that was trying, striving, building something fragile in a dangerous world. And that's real grief, not fake sadness, not melodrama, but real, genuine grief. Because the loss is symbolic. It's your effort, your investment, your discipline, undone in the blink of an eye. And your brain doesn't care that it was just a game. It will process it like any other form of loss. Recently, I'd wager that grief took a communal form in the end of OnlyFangs, the hardcore guild that defined an era. For many players on Doomhowl and beyond, OnlyFangs wasn't just a guild, it was an icon. A chaotic, beautiful, meme-fueled, death-prone guild that gave classic WoW a heartbeat again. They took risks and turned most deaths into content. They made hardcore fun, not just brutal. But fame brought friction. There was drama, departures, disillusionment, and then a formal announcement that it's over. And I can't imagine for most that it's just about losing a guild. I think it's about losing a shared identity. For many, OnlyFangs was the reason they logged on. It gave structure, purpose, belonging. When it dissolved, it
chat.
left a hole, not just in the guild roster, but in the spirit of the server. Heidegger once said that to live authentically is to live with the awareness of death, not in a morbid sense, but in a clarifying one. When you know you will die, suddenly life matters more. In hardcore, that philosophy is not an abstract concept, it's concrete. A single misclick, a moment of lag, a misjudged mob path, a momentary lapse of concentration, and every single thing you have built is gone. Most of us in our daily lives operate in what Heidegger would have called the they, the default mode of existence, where we do things because others do them. We grind because others grind. We play safe because the meta says to. But in hardcore, that crowd can't always save you. You are thrown back into your own self, your own instincts, your own fear, your own hope. You have to play your character, not someone else's idea of it. And because of that, in many ways, hardcore is the most pure version of World of Warcraft we've ever had. It rewards real mastery, but game knowledge too. Memory, adaptability, awareness. It's difficult to fake your way to 60 in hardcore. You have to know what you're doing, or you learn the hard way. And this is the paradox of hardcore. It creates some of the most intense community bonds you'll ever feel in an MMO because the stakes are just so high. You don't just level together, you survive together. You bury your dead. You mourn your friends like a real funeral. You cheer louder because you know it could have gone the other way. But that closeness makes the losses cut deeper too. When people leave, when they die, they give up, it feels heavier. The grief isn't confined just to your character screen. It spreads to your discords, your friend groups, your motivation. And now, Doomhowl's future hangs in the balance. Without OnlyFangs to set the tone, to bring the chaos and energy, will the hardcore scene stagnate? Or will something new rise from the ashes? And perhaps that's the
I'm
most
finishing out of
hardcore
respect,
thing of all.
guys.
Nothing is permanent. Not even the legends. Not even the guilds that we thought would last. And yet, people still roll new characters. They still log in. They still try. Because that's what we do. We climb knowing that we'll fall. We risk knowing that it might
No, it's not
hurt.
brain rotted chat. It's like everyone has different opinions, right? If they find it entertaining or not. I don't think you should take too much offense of it just because you linked it. Like, not everyone has to like it, right, Rambo? But I respect you, Rambo. That's why I'm watching 2 videos you sent. But yeah, I don't think it's like, to me, it's not this deep. I think he has a different way of thinking, and I think that's interesting. And I think that's beautiful, right? Because like I said, a lot of people from different cultures come to play WoW, and everyone have different mindsets and whatnot. And that's the cool part of it, right?
We love knowing that we'll lose it all. In that way, hardcore isn't just the most
Ramboos, right? Everyone has different opinions though, right, Roku? Like I said.
authentic and real version of Azeroth. It's the most human. Because real life is hardcore. We don't get respawns. We don't get infinite retries. We're all walking around hoping we don't fucking misclick. So we learn to care, to pay attention, to honor each other, to savor the quiet moments between the chaos. And I think that's what OnlyFangs gave us more than anything. The reminder that this world, even when it's brutal, is worth it. That the people you ride with, the people you wipe with, laugh with, they matter. That the story doesn't need to end cleanly to have been meaningful. Hardcore is the real Azeroth because it forces us to feel, to try, to lose, and then to go again anyway. And that, in life, in games, is as real as it gets.
I'll link you guys the video. Here you guys go. I think every WoW has different levels of what he's talking about, whether it be a guild or a team, or maybe just like an arena team. Everything can go in that way. It's not just hardcore WoW where there's a community. I think some of you guys might think this way because you only play classic WoW or maybe only hardcore WoW. Yes, hardcore WoW hits differently, right? But in retail WoW, if you're like raid leading and you have a core group you're going with every time and you're progging together as a team and learning together and having fun, people show up, have responsibilities they bear, and it hits everywhere. It hits everywhere. It's not just hardcore, right? And you can say that in almost a lot of games too. So yeah, interesting video, man. Interesting video.